And as you know, today is a day for our heroes, those who put their lives on the line for what matters most, the men and women of America's armed forces. And as we all know from a long decade of war, many never return from battles abroad, and many who do return are never the same. Injuries seen and unseen. But as only heroes can, they don't complain. Instead, they've taken things into their own hands. So here is ABC's Bob Woodruff with an encore presentation of those who defend the American dream.
It was November 2004 when Dale Beatty and his best friend John Galena were in Iraq, returning from a mission.
We had been up late that night preparing the vehicle. That was a last minute, hey, here, tomorrow you're going to go out on this mission.
So I was just taking a video of us driving, filming everybody in the truck, said hey to everyone. And I took a little video, put it back maybe in my pocket, and right after that, we got hurt.
The explosion rocked their Humvee 200 feet in the air. John suffered a brain injury and back wounds. Dale lost both his legs and spent more than a year at Walter Reed Hospital recovering. When they finally got back to North Carolina, Dale was struggling to adjust to life at home.
After leaving the hospital where there's elevators and ramps, you come home to the real world and you see that you've got to make some significant changes in your lifestyle.
His house wasn't equipped for a double amputee. Seeing his friends struggle, John felt compelled to help, and so he teamed up with some local builders to construct a new house for Dale, to give him the independence he so rightly deserved.
And I come home and got so much help from this community. And it was such a good feeling for me and my family. We really had the best case scenario for somebody who had been injured as bad as I was.
When the work was done, Dale and John were inspired and decided to dedicate their lives to building and retrofitting homes for disabled veterans.
After we came home from Iraq, looking around in our communities, we saw that there's still greater needs that were not being met.
They started a foundation and called it Purple Heart Homes.
You know, our goal was just simply to pay it forward, just one vet.
Dale and John hoped to bring America back to those glorious days after World War II, when veterans were cheered and embraced by their communities.
You need to understand it's about community. It's about lifting up those that have served and sacrificed, and in that, we found a way that we can say we believe.
They soon discovered that there are more than 17,000 veterans living in their county alone. And every Thursday morning, a group gathers here in Richard's coffee shop. That's how they met Dave Morrell.
Hey, Dave. Hey.
Who served 3 tours with the Special Forces in Vietnam.
Good to see you. Hey. Hey, Bob. Nice to meet you.
The war cost him a leg.
This just comes off.
They learned that Morrell was forced to crawl from his bedroom to his bathroom because his wheelchair and walker wouldn't fit through the doors. He said the VA wouldn't pay to fix it because he is missing only one limb.
You have to be double. A single amputee, the best I can get is a wheelchair, 1 ramp, but to actually have the house physically adapted, I don't qualify.
Were you outraged by this, that people didn't know about these guys couldn't even get in their shower?
No, I think it was such a shock to John and myself. There was no time for outrage. There's really no time for outrage. There's only time to do something about it.
So they did. They knocked down a wall and built an addition onto his home with a brand new bedroom and an accessible bathroom so Dave can roll right in.
Going from a Volkswagen to a Cadillac is a nice upgrade. And that's what this is. It's an upgrade, and it is nice.
There are more than 3 million American veterans with disabilities connected to their service. When Dale and John met Vietnam vet Kevin Smith, he could barely get in and out of his house. He says he's often felt unappreciated because Vietnam was such an unpopular war.
And the community has woke up and said, hey, maybe we were wrong. And
just sitting there talking to him that first day just brought tears to his eyes. He had never been told, welcome home.
With the help of a handful of neighbors, Purple Heart Homes built him a wooden ramp to help ease his burden.
It's just good to know that people care about their country. again.
Everyone standing here, you're all now part of the Purple Heart Homes team. So take care of Buddy.
Dale and John's foundation is hitting its stride. They recruited dozens of volunteers from Wells Fargo to help put the finishing touches on the home of Sergeant Buddy Mays. He was hit by a roadside bomb in Iraq in 2005, breaking his back and leaving him paralyzed. He returned to a home not built for a man now restricted to a wheelchair.
I don't want to sound complaining by saying it's hard in a chair, but it ain't easy.
It was also hard on his two girls.
My girls are my life, and they've seen the trials, the struggles, just the daily, mundane, hard stuff that most kids wouldn't have to see.
So the team worked to widen the doors, repaint every wall, and build an outdoor elevator so that Buddy could get to the backyard to play with his daughters.
It's really up to us. It's up to the community to take ownership of the people who go and fight and die and bleed for us.
Dale and John were there to help move the family in, just in time for the holidays.
I think we're back at home. Yep. Back at home. This is something that'll last forever. Simply amazing. All my independence is back to me. Finally. Finally.
Just like the spirit of volunteerism that we have here today, the community turned out. We commend each and every one of you, and I hope that you go and you share with others.
To close the day, Buddy wheeled out to the front yard, to the flagpole, to raise the flag he fought to defend. It may not have been part of the plan, but Buddy insisted he should stand.
There's no one greater in our community that deserves to live comfortably and with dignity in their home than those that have served and sacrificed for our freedom.
I'm Bob Woodruff for Nightline.